Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Pop Culture Today. Every single year at the beginning of the year, I'm the type of person where I like to compile a list of 10 or so movies that I am anticipating for the rest of the year. And this year looks pretty stacked. We have a lot of great movies coming out. A lot of them I cannot wait to see. But this list is 10 of those movies that I am really anticipating for the rest of this year. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Firstly, we have 1917 by Sam Mendes. Sam Mendes is a director that I just adore. You know, every single thing he touches is just magic, and I immediately gravitate towards Skyfall, which is one of my favorite James Bond movies and one of my favorite Daniel Craig James Bond movies as well. 1917 is this war movie that is, made under the impression of one shot. It's like a one continuous shot. Obviously, a 2-hour movie isn't one shot, but that's the impression that is made under. And I feel like this movie will be one of the more captivating movies when it comes to visuals this year and cinematography and choreography, because filming something under that interpretation is very challenging and very difficult, and for it to be a 2-hour feature film is even more challenging. And I immediately gravitate towards something like Birdman, 2014 with Michael Keaton. That whole entire movie was one shot. That was the first one shot movie that I remember watching growing up, and that was mesmerizing. And it was a little bit off-putting because while we're watching movies, we're used to the cuts, we're used to the fast pans and zooms and just stuff like that. But watching a movie that doesn't have that many cuts, it seems slower. So I'm really excited to check out 1917 by Sam Mendes. It is in theaters everywhere January 10th. My second movie I am really anticipating for 2020 is Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. Had to make sure I got that title right because it's probably one of the longest titles I've ever read in my life. At first I wasn't really, it was on my radar just because I love comic book movies. I love DC and Marvel. You're going to come to realize that, as time goes on this channel, I enjoy those type of movies. The DCEU, on the other hand, is a little bit of a mixed bag for me. That has a lot of good ideas for movies. The movies themselves are not good at all. The reason why this is now on my radar is because a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, when this movie was first announced, I remember saying DC needs to take they need a complete 180. They need to change what they're doing right now. They need to go rated R. They need to tell these one-off stories, and they need to be rated R. And that's not because of shock value. I don't want DC movies that are just bloody and gory with a whole bunch of language and sex. That is not what I want. I want a powerful story interpreted on screen like it is in the comics. And you cannot interpret, Joker is a perfect example. You cannot interpret a story like Joker in a PG-13 format because that is not, that is just not his character. Obviously, Christopher Nolan was able to do it with The Dark Knight, but The Dark Knight's Joker compared to Arthur Fleck, that Joker, there's a huge difference in tone there. Dark Knight, he's pure chaos, anarchist. This guy, mental illness, he's actually insane. That's besides the point. Me saying all this brings me to the fact that Birds of Prey is rated R, and I feel like that is a great result for this movie. The fact that it is rated R sheds a lot of light upon this movie, and that's exactly what I want from more DC films. I want more one-off stories. I want more rated R films. It's okay to have your PG-13 movies like Shazam and appeal to everybody and the whole family and kids, but DC was built on a darker tone. It's not Marvel, and they need to stop trying to be Marvel. So I really hope that this movie starts a new wave of DC films that aren't afraid to take a risk. Birds of Prey is expected February 7th. My third movie that I'm really anticipating for 2020 is The Invisible Man. And this is strictly because the trailer, first off, was amazing. And secondly, the director is the same as that of 2018's Upgrade. And I can't stress this enough. Upgrade was the best action movie of 2018. It was the best sci-fi movie of 2018. The story might have been a little cheesy at parts, but just how stylized and where they took the movie and the sound design and the visuals, this movie was amazing. And it pains me to know that not a lot of people have actually seen Upgrade. I bring it up quite often, but people are like, what's Upgrade? I've never heard of it. I've never seen it. It was a very small movie, but it hit hard. To see that this director is returning for another movie, I'm really interested to see what he's really capable of, because a director can have one good movie and then just fall flat on their faces for the rest of them. I'm really really willing to see if he can stick the landing with the Invisible Man and can tell a awesome psychological mind-bending story about this woman who is haunted by her ex, who they presume is dead, but she believes is not dead and is physically haunting her. And I'm really excited to see what type of stylization the director chooses to take with this one. So The Invisible Man is out February 28th. Next up on my list is A Quiet Place Part 2. A Quiet Place was one of the surprise hits of 2018. It was very just also mesmerizing. I think that's the word of the day in this video. It was a very mesmerizing movie because you're used to sound, you're used to big blockbuster sounds and music and stuff, and this movie lacked that. And it accomplished exactly what it wanted to accomplish, in the sense that these characters are alone and they have to be quiet. They cannot make noise, otherwise they will die. And I thought the first one was done perfectly up until the ending. I thought the ending got a little bit cheesy, but I'm really looking forward to this movie, and the trailer really sold me. And I just can't wait to see what more of the world's like. And I feel like that is the perfect place to go. And I feel like the first movie did it perfectly, in the sense that it was just about this one family, and now we're going to see what more of the world is like, who is crazy, who is not, what is really out there, and just see how civilization is starting to recoup after whatever traumatic events happened before the first movie. The Quiet Place is due March 20th. The next movie on my list may get some flack, but I'm a true X-Men fanboy, and this is a movie I've been waiting for 2 years for, and to see that has another release date is promising, but I just don't know if it's going to be the movie I wanted 2 years ago, and that is New Mutants. New Mutants is a movie I remember watching the trailer for damn near 3 years ago, and I was really looking forward to it, and I was like, dang, this looks really twisted and fresh and new. And to see these X-Men characters in this might be a rated R movie. I don't know if it's gonna be rated R now because Disney and Fox, that deal went through, but to see these X-Men characters in a horror based movie with some more scary elements than we're typically used to in these type of movies, it really had me going, and I was really excited. And then it got pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. It was supposed to come out in 2018, then 2019. As we all know, it never came out. Now it has another release date for 2020, and I really just want this movie to be good because it is something I am passionate about. It is something that's been on my radar since 2018, and I'm just it is something that I want to come out and I am impressed with, honestly, and that's all I really want at this point. So New Mutants is due April 3rd of this year. My next movie that I'm really looking forward to in 2020 is No Time to Die, the next and final Daniel Craig James Bond movie. This movie has had a lot of shakeups that not a lot of people are realizing. This movie went through production companies, and I think it finally landed with Sony, and it's had a lot of shakeups, but Daniel Craig has never failed to impress as Bond in his James Bond movies, some being more lackluster than others in my opinion. But I am excited to see this outing. I'm excited to see his finale and where the story goes and how it ends, and I have a lot of fan theories for this movie, but I'm really excited to see where the screenwriters and director takes James Bond and this character, and what they do with James Bond. Now, of course, with this being a James Bond movie, it's obviously going to have some awesome set pieces, so I'm really excited to see the crazy outlandish stunts with a mix of practical effects and CGI that will be used in this movie, obviously. And it's just something that's it's gonna be a fun summer blockbuster movie that I can't wait to go check out. No Time to Die is due in April of 2020. My next movie on my list is Antebellum. It is Jordan Peele's third movie following Get Out and Us. Get Out for me was a great movie that I thought was overrated, in the sense that this movie was considered like one of the best horror movies ever known to mankind, and I just had to simply disagree. It was a solid A tier. It wasn't A plus. It wasn't anything special. It was a good horror movie, and I will give it that. Us, on the other hand, was a huge letdown, and I'd say Jordan Peele fell on his face with that movie. And I see what he was trying to go for, and I see that he was really trying to make Get Out 10 times better, but it just didn't land for me, and it didn't land for many people. I am hoping Antebellum is kind of like the redeeming movie for him, and he kind of gets his footing down instead of trying to cross genres too much, because that's one thing I noticed that he does. He across its genres, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's all about innovating, and that's what makes movies amazing to go witness. But you have to realize that you have to, you know, get your footing in what you feel comfortable with, and that's what he's doing right now, and I totally get that. But he has to really, you know, establish what he's going for when he makes a movie. And I feel like Antebellum will be that deciding factor, and whether this movie is received well or poorly, we will most likely see more movies like Antebellum from Jordan Peele, and I can't wait to check it out. Antebellum is due April 24th. My next movie on the list is from a director that I have grown up with and a director I've been watching for a long time, and that's Christopher Nolan, and this movie is Tenet. You know, I saw the trailer, it didn't do it for me. I am still looking forward to it. It looks like a mixture of, I don't know, Inception and Interstellar, and it really does look like a culmination of many of his movies, and I just can't wait to see what he has in store. He hasn't failed to impress me once. Every single movie I've seen from him has been just amazing, visually, story-wise, aesthetically. His last movie being Dunkirk, one of my favorite war movies to this day, and one of my favorite Christopher Nolan movies. And obviously he directed the Dark Knight trilogy, so I'm really just looking forward to Tenet and just seeing what mind-bendy, crazy story he's going to be able to tell in this one, and you know what effects, because we know Christopher Nolan likes his 80mm film in his IMAX screens. He's going to make something that's visually captivating, and I can't wait to see what he has in store for us. Tenet is due on July 17th. Second to last, ladies and gentlemen, we are at The Kingsmen. This movie was supposed to come out, I believe it was late 2019. I could be wrong, but I know for a fact it was supposed to come out early 2020, February 14th of 2020. So we got pushed all the way back to September of this year, and I'm just hoping that this isn't because of conflict in the plot or story. I hope this is more just a scheduling issue or something like that, because Kingsman is a franchise that I've grown to love through the first and second movies. The Golden Circle being a little lackluster than the first one, but that's okay. So this movie is delayed until the fall of this year, which is a huge delay. That is almost a year. But I'm just hoping that this movie holds up and tells a great story of how the Secret Service began, and you know, gives us a dive into this world of the Kingsmen, and I just can't wait to experience it. Matthew Vaughn, once again, has never really failed to impress me, at least. I love Kick-Ass, I love X-Men First Class, I love the first two Kingsmen movies. He's done a great job, and I can't take that away from him, and I'm just hoping that this movie isn't a mess right now because of plot. I hope the pushback was more because of scheduling, or just, you know, trying to incorporate something else bigger and better, which obviously they will, because they have all the time in the world now. But I'm really looking forward to The Kingsmen, and this is due once again in September. Final movie I am just anticipating for this year is Halloween Kills. I'm a huge Halloween fan. I love the old movies, good or bad, I love them all. And you know, 2018's Halloween was just wow. It really did something, and I was really digging the movie up until the ending, when they, you know, left it open for more Michael Myers movies, and that is something that I was not happy about at all. And you know, I really wish Halloween 2018 was just, you know, Halloween 1979 and then Halloween 2018, and that was a story. That's not what happened, and we are getting more Michael Myers movies until 2021. I just hope that they don't take this into a stupid route. It seems like the Halloween sequels never really have done a good job. I guess the best Halloween sequel you could think of is probably Halloween 2 in the 80s, but even then, that movie was not good at all. And it was just lackluster and didn't hold up to the original one. And I just hope that, you know, they keep what made the original one good in these new movies. And to know that we're getting two more movies, Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, it was an idea that personally I was not happy about, because like I said, I wanted Halloween 2018 to be the culmination of the Michael Myers story. We don't need, you know, more Halloween movies just for money. But I do think that, you know, Danny McBride is still on board, and you know, I believe it's a returning director as Halloween 2018, and obviously, you know, Jamie Lee Curtis is coming back, you know, with all the inputs from the original, you know, filmmakers and original cast, and you know, people who are really passionate about the franchise itself. We should be getting a pretty good movie here, and I don't see why we have anything too crazy to worry about as of right now. Halloween Kills is due on October 16th of this year. And ladies and gentlemen, that concludes my list of 10 movies I am anticipating for 2020. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that like button, share the video, subscribe. Let me know what you're anticipating in the comment section below. There was a lot of movies I did not touch on. I specifically did not touch on a lot of superhero movies, although I'm a huge Marvel fan, but I feel like those are kind of like movies that we are all anticipating, you know, and I feel like those are movies that, you know, we're obviously going to go see just because, you know, it's Black Widow or Wonder Woman. And so yeah, I intentionally did not hit on a lot of movies just because they're movies that, you know, we're probably going to go see anyway. But regardless, let me know what you're looking forward to in the comment section below. I'm excited to read them and reply to them, and let's have a discussion. Look forward to a lot more videos coming out of pop culture today. This will be a big year. We will have podcasts. We'll be talking about video games, movies, everything entertainment, everything that you guys love will be on the channel, and we hope to see you soon. As always, have a wonderful day. Peace out, guys.